that great burst damage, and I think this could be a very good pick, potentially. Um, I feel like you can still counter the Spectre if you're con with some offlaner that has some decent damage. But I don't know. I'm kind of liking Extremium right now. I think the Spectre is gonna be very hard to kill this hero here.
Why do people
They,
keep calling it Extremium? What's that
hmm?
from? Because their name is
Oh,
Extremum.
Extremum.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
you're
There
not the
wasn't
only
there
one.
another
There's
team?
like a lot of people that have called them Extremium.
I don't know.
Um,
I just feel like wasn't there a team called Extremium, or is this
maybe.
Extremum?
Or someone like Extremium. I think I see where you come. I just remember it as like, hey, if Alex
Yeah.
Mike was on this team, everyone would just call it Extremum.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
like that's how I remember it. But you were saying like you like the way that the Spectre fits compared to these two
Hmm.
teams right now because it feels like Khan is kind of relying on popping off lane straight away, right?
Yeah. Right now I way prefer Extremum's draft. I think just kind of the Beastmaster Void matchup in general. It's pretty decent for Beastmaster, assuming they don't get completely shot on by the Grimstroke Void.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beastmaster, like if he's kind of drawing with Void in the beginning, he's gonna get his book early and he's gonna kick the Void out of the lane. Spectre doesn't really care about any of these heroes up until a much later point of the game where you might care about the Void if you get Silver Edge, etc. But I feel like there are a lot of kind of unticked boxes in the con draft here. I think the Rubik and Grimstroke, they kind of play a similar role, and to some extent, I think that the Void Spirit also does something similar. They're all three heroes with a lot of spells, some disables, but not too much burst, and just relying a lot on magic damage.
See, all I'm seeing is two cores on the side of Khan that can run away very effectively, abandoning their supports to die.
Yes, I mean Void and Void, right?
It's like, okay, bye. And then there's just Grimstroke River like, no, come back, you son of You've left me behind again. And I don't think you even have to think of that as the biggest problem, right? Because even if you hold strong and have this front line, like you have this Spectre factor. It's always been this hero that if you have these kind of weak chinks in your armor in terms of squishy supports, it's a hero
Yeah,
that can
exactly.
exploit it.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be my kind of next point here. This is one of those like this is actually a very nice Spectre game. I think there's not too much, there's not too much burst. There's not this overwhelming amount of physical damage with minus armor, etc. Like some Slardar plus, whatever carry that deals a lot of physical damage. There's just not too much burst here, and that
No.
can kind of backfire when you're up against a Spectre. And also the supports, like you said, they are quite squishy. So one haunt and you're pretty spooked, especially since there's gonna be this beast, this tiny coming in from random angles.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference as well. Like you look on one side, you got this tiny who has multiple pick targets, gets a blink, suddenly turns into this deity in the mid game that destroys everything. Khan, they don't really have any power spikes to rely on off of their supports, right? Like these guys are good with levels, sure, but it's not like you're going to get this unlocked potential through like a mid game
Okay,
item. Uh,
what
uh.
what just happened?
I think I'm hoping they've decided Tiny's a good mid here because the alternative is that they think Lion is a good mid
No,
here.
I mean I'm pretty sure this is a mid tiny. I just feel like I don't know. I really don't like this pick at all.
I mean,
Unless it's
nobody's
maybe a
liked this
mid
pick
lion.
for a long
If it's a
time.
mid lion and they have some new idea, whatever, okay. But I feel like this is a very strange lion pick to me, at least. I think lion is quite bad against both Rubik and Grimstroke. You get your attack speed, and also against Faces Void, I would say. You kind of get screwed over by the uh,
The
what's it
time
called?
dilation.
Fate Time Dilation, yes. Fate's Edict.
Hmm.
Not Fate's Edict, sorry. The what's it called? Grimstroke. The
Oh,
W.
the W
Inks.
is
Phantom's
the
Embrace.
yeah the embrace because you got slow attack speed. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know. You
you
also
know,
don't
you're
enjoy
being
playing against
really
Rubik.
nice about this. Let's be honest, right? Lion is a hero that's felt like ass for a long time now. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see anyone saying
definitely.
good things about this hero ever.
No, no doubt. Yeah, really strange last pick here from Extremum, but I still think they have some good tools. The Underlord is kind of interesting because both the Underlord, like the Underlord negates some, he gets some more damage from his Atrophy Aura, and Rubik also can remove damage with this Fade Bolt. So if played well, I think this off lane for Khan could do very well against this Lich Spectre. And if they do that, then I think Khan kind of have some chances here. But man, what's with this Lion?
It seems to like you literally at this point, we're both at this point, we're like, yeah, Extremum, man. This is looking like a clean
Yeah,
one,
it
man.
was.
What a great
Yeah, it
start.
was
And then they curveball so hard that the ball boomerangs and smashes them in the face. Like this
pretty
lion
much.
pick. I just
Pretty much. I mean, we will see. We'll kind of see how it works out. Like the one thing about this is that I think it might be decent-ish in the lane, just because of
it
it's kind of
stops the
like this
kill
void.
potential, right, of the void Grimstroke.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it does is basically it's gonna let this lion now. He's gonna be able to hit the void a little bit in the lane. If it's just a beast tiny lane, I think they might get a little bit bullied by a hero like Grimstroke. You can jump in with this, with the Inkswell and the Q there, and you can kind of bully the fact that there are two melee heroes. Now in this lane, I think they might do slightly better than what a beast tiny would have done.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a tiny could potentially defend you if you can get across and toss, whereas a line,
Hmm.
like you see the Inkswell move as broadcast, I'm gonna just throw out this stun, doink, we walk away.
Yeah. The one thing now is like with this lion pick, at some point in the game, it should be a little bit spooky for Void and Void Spirit to kind of be showing. Like if Lion gets Ether Lens, Blink, or whatever it is he decides to go for, it is gonna be this hawk from the
Your
beast, and
name
a lot of the
offends
times.
me.
So
What
the
is
reason
that?
why like I also kind of harped a little bit on this lion is because now Tiny gets pushed into lane shoving duty a little bit more, and also Underlord kind of offsets some of this because he also just pushes lanes on his own. And so both these teams, they want the lanes to be pushing in their favor so that they can be making kills happening with the Void Spirit and or the Void. And on the side of Extremum, they want to be setting up kills with the Beast, Tiny, Lion, etc. But in order to do this, you need lanes to be pushing. And in order for lanes to be pushing, heroes generally have to be showing on the map, unless you have heroes like Beastmaster, Underlord, etc. So I think Extremum were in a good position with this, but now maybe not as much, but it's still gonna be kind of spooky for the Void, I think, to be showing too much.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing is how much are we actually going to see these mini nerfs affect the two heroes in the bot lane on Khan as well. Like, I don't feel like the nerf to Rubik was maybe substantial enough.
Hmm.
Like, I think they removed 10 attack speed. Well, okay, that's it. I mean, Gilga's gonna have a crap game. Rubik's still not like one of the most potent and easily picked supports in the game.
Yeah, I think some of the changes are probably not, they're not gonna be
Substantial.
huge. No, no,
I think the
but
main one's like Darkseer, right? And they did try and tweak Underlord a bit. I don't feel like the changes to him are necessarily going to hurt him too hard either. I think it's mainly around like Atrophy Aura and
yeah, I mean it's
something
like
else.
it's like getting the 1 point in Atrophy Aura, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it might be okay.
It's kind of the Doom treatment, right? Because I think they also decreased his health regen on his Devour by 1. So it's like the level 1 impact of those two in the off lane, for example, is lower, but the kind of power spike around level 3 should remain similar or the same.
Yeah, he's just slightly weaker, kind of like with the early skill points and everything. And
Whoop.
I mean, the just getting 2 damage instead of 4 at level 1 definitely might matter in terms of the atrophy aura. I think that's kind of the big change there.
I mean, the reason I highlighted the Rubik especially is just like this is the comparison. Rubik has been nerfed. The Lion has been untouched. This is the comparison to watch. This is the matchup that truly matters. So that at the end of the day, we can say Lion still sucks.
I mean, I'm gonna be saying Lion fucking sucks
We're both gonna be saying Lion still like
no
sucks.
matter what happens.
Dude, especially in like the 4 roll. I honestly, I mean, I'm this person that likes to spam everything in the form. Like, what could work this week? Let's try an axe, right? And then I never
Right.
touch line. I never ever touch line. It's the one I just refuse to. I just look at his stats and look at what he does. It's like,
What could work this week? Light? No.
no. Like, maybe if his finger cooldown didn't suck so much. Like, as a support, you're not going to get a level 2 ultimate anytime soon, right? And it's 160 seconds. Like, what if... Okay, here's a thought, right? This is a balanced thought for... Like, a reasonable thought for a change. I don't do this very often. But what if we gave Lion a similar cooldown on his ultimate to Laguna Blade?
Yeah, I'm just not sure about, like... I think kind of like some issue for Lion is that he's quite a weak laner now.
Yes.
He doesn't really offer that much, and he also struggles with lane shove.
So what I'm hearing is that you want to see a 10 attack speed buff to counteract do the opposite of what they've done to Rubik, and then
I think what they could do is they could give him some more damage and or improve his base attack time. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like
he just feels very clunky.
Like his int gain is pretty damn high, right? But it's like
I also feel like another thing they could do, and I kind of think they should. I feel like they could just remove this mana drain and replace it with a better spell.
What if you could move while
it's pretty garbage, to be honest.
Like, how about that? What
if you could move while managing, yeah, I'm just that might become too strong, you know. I remember this back in Dota 1. There was the Terror Blade with the moving. There was this life stealing. He basically had Pugna's ult, but he could move whilst doing it. And I don't know why. No one knew why. He's completely busted.
Got it. So what I'm hearing is Axe Change for Pugna can now move.
Yes.
While life draining. Oh, Ixwell moving in. Stun coming out. Beastmaster low, but not low enough. There you go. That's why you pick Lion. There isn't any other hero in the game with a single target stun that could have protected there.
Yeah, I mean, Lion already making it happen here.
Exactly. Popping off with his boot start to ensure that, oh god, please don't kill me. It's not a concern for him. Mid lane so far actually going pretty well for both. Obviously a little advantage for the Void Spirit. Not too surprising. I feel like it's a little bit easier for him to get his CS and disrupt Melodual ever since they nerfed.
So you're kind of the glass half full then.
Yeah, you're like a tiny well, it could be worse. I mean, this Void Spirit is going to rotate and start killing my line constantly.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, like mid lane, both of them are doing well. You know, like
thumbs up.
It could be,
nice.
both of them are just, you know, they're having an awful lane.
Both of them are failing to destroy the other person in a barn burner tiebreaker best of one. God, it makes me so mad.
Man.
It's like they don't want
to
win.
Good old barn burner.
Damn. I mean, it's like, it is a barn burner, but multiple barns can be burned. And looks like the life of Grimstroke is going to be burnt in top lane. And Naive. Where are these bashes? Come on. Nah, he don't feel it. He's like, wait, I didn't get the double bash. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the Beast really, he needs to get some regions sent out to him kind of quickly right now. And we're going to see this Void Spirit get the haste rune there. Quite fortunate.
Let's see if he zooms around. Like, probably wait until he's got 6, right? Like, he should
yeah, it's not necessarily like the best rune at this point. It's okay. Unlikely to make sort of a rotation before 6.
No. If there was like a fragile comparison in the mid lane, like if it wasn't a bulky boy Tiny, you'd probably try and like run him down. But
yeah, you could even rotate in some other boy, but
yeah, but even then, like, what was your rotating hero, right? When you look at the two supports inside of Khan, that's kind of another weakness. You can sort of rotate with the Grimstroke, but it's not like a potent rotation. It's not like a Tiny or an Earth Spirit or a Tusk or any of these heroes that like can very easily convert kills.
Yeah, they're just seeing here if we're gonna have some contention for the runes, but it doesn't look like it. It's probably just gonna end up being 2 apiece. They might save this one rune for the Void Spirit so he can pick it up after he uses the haste rune. Get some more regen.
So that's the maximum efficiency. You haste, you bottle up, you go for the bounty rune, then you rotate bot.
Grimstroke is in trouble once again.
And he Inkswell's naive. He says, if I'm going down, someone's coming with me in the bash. Not able to do
Naive
enough.
might be in trouble now.
Yeah, he screwed up here. Stun, and Naive is wondering what he's done. How am I losing the lane to line, he says.
Yeah, and the Nongrata there, he kind of got blocked a little bit by the creeps. So he wasn't really able to pursue there since, I mean, he does have the Orb of Venom and the slow from the boar, so could have kept chasing, but just not wanting to risk it too much. And I think it's okay. He is off to a pretty good start. I mean, the Void he's still farming, right? But he's slightly behind the Beastmaster due to the fact that he probably had to use more gold for regen.
And then look at the other side of the map. Like Nefrit, it feels like he's got more value out of his early gold. He hasn't been as forced to ferry out regen as much, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, Spectre is quite happy against a lane like this, I think. Yes, you have the Fade Bolt and the kind of the Atrophy Aura to kind of offset the damage, but the thing is, Spectre has this dispersion, so you can kind of sit in the lane and tank some hits, you don't mind too much, and you can last it with Desolate and with the Dagger, and yeah, you're just kind of happy in a lane like this, Spectre. There's not too much burst damage, so you don't really care. You're not really worried about dying.
Yeah, it's attritional warfare, and like you said, there's the dispersion, and also you're talking about a lane with a Lich, right? It's like they try and get him low and commit. There's just a Frost Shield, a potential turnaround, and then you regret the day you were born.
Yeah, right now I think, and the one thing is, like, this Beastmaster, he's gonna be getting to his book, you know, sometime within the next 2-3 minutes or something like that, and he's gonna get a 6, and when that happens, the Void is gonna be forced out of this lane, and he's gonna have to find a new home if he wants to live, unless they want to be bringing the Rubik up top, but that kind of kicks the Underlord out of the bottom to some extent, so I think we're gonna see some sort of rotation soon here. It might be the Void Spirit rotating top too.
That's a fair point. Like, I was gonna say, you can see the Grimstroke here, worst case scenario, right? This is one of those dead lane heroes, like, oh, well, no one else can be present in this lane, so I'll just sit back and Stroke of Fate, slow down the pushes, which is especially effective against the Beastmaster.
Yeah, you can to some extent. I mean, you're still probably gonna get dove under the tower with the Hawks, and you know, the Beast pushing the lane with the Boars and the Aura. But you could do it. It's just that the Void wants to find a home.
Jungle Faceless Void? There it
You
is.
hate to see it this early.
I mean, you know what you like to see? You like to see a lion proving you wrong. Look at these snipes. Look at these kills. His Felior. He totally.
I mean, no other hero. No, you can't.
It's only lion, dude. I mean, you know what it is? It's the name. The name is instilling fear in Khan. They're like, a lion. Crap, I don't want to mix with that. All right, you just take what you want, big boy. I mean, look, it only took 8 minutes for the Grimstroke and the Lion to have the same right-click damage.
Looks like there's going to be initiation here onto Grimstroke.
And there's the big difference, though, between the Grimstroke and the Lion. One has 3 deaths, one has none.
Clearly, the one with 3 deaths is way better, right?
I'm pretty sure it's the one with less. Also,
it's the one with
Lion,
less.
I figured out why this is working. It's like it's hell and demon mentality. The one with the bigger horns wins.
Ah, right. That kind of does make sense.
I mean, how else do you meant?
It's like when the Billy Goats.
Size? Oh,
yes.
Horn straight in onto the Void Spirit. The left though will stop them from getting the kill. Nice rotation out of Gilga, and they might try and turn around. Naive goes in with the Chrono, connects onto 3 heroes as well. Mio is like, I'll try and help, but I don't know if we can get through this in time. Stun comes out. Melo's still alive. Avalanche Toss says, I'm going down. But so's your Void. Just not the one we intended.
Yeah, and I feel like that's maybe a bit of a kind of wasted initiation there. Or, you know, like this Chrono, he goes in and he wants to kill the Tiny. Yes, the Tiny is higher level, so maybe it's a slight favor for Khan, but at the same time you use your Chrono. I mean, basically they just traded their long spells, and at this point neither Haunt nor Chrono is extremely valuable. Maybe the Chrono is a little bit better, but I think this kind of favors EXTREMUM, because now they're also going to be allowed to threaten this top tower. I think there's going to be there should be a rotation exactly from either the Underlord or Void Spirit here. You don't really want to let this Beast, when he's so low, when he wasted his Roar, you don't want to give him too much tower damage with these books and with the Inner Beast.
Yeah, that's kind of the rippling effect of what you talk about in the mid lane, where I don't think the Faceless Void had to come, right? Like, Gilga had done enough. He protected the life of the mid. Anything above
he was
that
fine.
Was kind of just greedy.
Yeah, and we see there, like, just the stolen Haunt into instant juice, kind of just scouting out where EXTREMUM are, and they see these 3 heroes up top, and now Underlord gets to just play up in this little jungle area, and he's just gonna Firestorm the wave here. And he should be a-okay, unless they start diving too hard, in which case I feel like, okay, the Void Spirit does not have a port. The Rubik does, so potentially he could be helping here, but otherwise Underlord might be in a dicey situation now.
He's fine. Look, it's so fine. It's fine.
He's fine, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
like,
bad is gonna happen to him.
no, see, look. He's just gonna get full health, and look, Gilgud got the opportunity to steal the Roar, and oh, he's fine too. They're all fine. It's fine. It's not
fine.
I don't think it's fine.
No, it's definitely not.
I'm
Yeah, I
starting
mean, they're
to
just not
always-
bringing enough numbers. I think they need to be bringing more heroes if they want to do this. I mean, I think the idea is correct. I don't think you want to be giving up all this. Like, well, what are you getting in return, right? The Spectre, he's still sitting in this bottom lane. He's still farming, kind of in the face of the Void. And also, they don't really have any major ways of trying to kill this Spectre right now, right? The Spectre's sitting at 1300 HP with the Dispersion. And he also has a stick. And he can just sit here in this lane, and they don't really have any burst damage. Is something we talked about a little bit earlier. They have Grimstroke, Rubik, Underlord. All of these heroes are damage over time, kind of, slow, War of Attrition, etc. And for the Void now, also, there's not really that much to pair up the Chrono with at this point. You have some Fade Bolt, you have some Inkswell, etc. But
It's like you wait for the Beastmaster to arrive, you chrono all of them, then Suzuya lines up his Stroke of Fate and kills them. That's probably your biggest outtake of like magical damage that you can apply in a chrono.
Yeah, I mean, you could steal it.
okay.
You could try to steal the Chain Frost and and deal some damage that way. I think kind of what I want them to be doing right now is I want them to be playing around this Void Spirit much more. He hasn't really participated as much as we usually see Void Spirits do, but I feel like this Void Spirit combined with the Inkswell from the Grimstroke, if he kind of just jumps in, he forces this awkward engagement where they have to choose if they want to fight or not.
Looking to fight, Non-Grata throws out the Primal Roar. Wasn't really needed because Mellow Jewel was already there with the Avalanche Toss, but this should secure the tower. I mean, you just get a kind of a preview of one, how strong Tiny can still be, but also like reminded of how good of a player Non-Grata can be, especially when you give him one of his signature heroes like the Beastmaster. Horn in, Mio tossed up in the air, Avalanche to get maximum stun times, not enough damage to finish him off. Stormbind links them together. Suzuya is not going to be able to get the Inkswell off in time. He does die before it pops, and Cheshire Cat just being ignored. Like, this dude is way too bulky. Move away. Chrono comes out onto Velior. Chain Frost to force Naive away. And this is why you pick Lion. Look at that. 4 armor. Able to live. This still comes out into the Chain Frost. Won't bounce around at all. In the meantime, Cheshire Cat's going to be brought down. The Sister Gaze locked down onto Naive. Up to the high ground where Velior is waiting. Does have a stun in 2 seconds. The dagger is going to follow through. So Naive is exactly that if he thought that this fight was going to go any way but south. As they'll find not only him, but Gilgro by the side. This is getting a bit out of control.
Yeah, we saw also the Tiny kind of debuting the Blink Dagger there. He kind of showed it off, gets this initiation. And after that, they also can just keep fighting. Yes, they managed to steal the Chain Frost on the Rubik, but he threw it out onto one Lion where it bounced 0 times. We also saw this. There's the Chronosphere once again, but there's no follow-up. There's no damage inside this Chrono. The Void kind of has no options at this point, and this is where it's so much easier in this scenario to be a Spectre, because you don't have to be killing. If you're Spectre, you kill just by kind of existing in the fight. You're in the face of the enemy team, you're dealing damage with Dispersion, you're continuously throwing out daggers. Whereas the Void, he has to be going in, but he's went for this, very greedy Midas rush build, and you don't deal any damage whatsoever as Void at this point if you're going for this build.
Yeah, I think calling it rush is a little bit of a stretch at this point.
Yeah, and also Non-Grata is very close to his book 3 now. And that's going to be very, very scary for Khan.
I like this. Nefert reads it correctly. However, they do see him. They move across. He hesitated to just TP away, and as a result, will be brought down. I think he could have just TP'd away. That was a really greedy approach.
Yeah, he could have hit and just TP'd away.
And now look at this. They're going to try and defend mid. Chain Frost's going to come out with the Primal Roar. Bouncing back and forth. Going to trap them in. And it looks like they're going to be able to bring down Cheshire Cat. Gilgo's going to fall as well. Mellow will run away from his team because that's what you do when you get soulbinded. You do not have any friends. But he'll just stay in range that you can easily get the XP as Suzuya gets cleaned up by Non-Grata as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say that this move onto the bottom lane is kind of what I think they should have been doing all along. Like, they should have made this move way longer ago. I think just having this Void Spirit jump in with the Inkswell, and they get this easy kill with transition into a tower, and then they get really greedy, and now they want to defend this mid tower where Extremum are already set up. There's this very easy, straightforward, just roar into Chain Frost combo. 2 heroes are pretty much done already, and they still give up the tower. So kind of they get a taste of blood, you know, in this bottom lane, and they see, yeah, let's do things, and then they just
Wow,
jump into
we're
Chain Frost and
heroes.
Roar.
Yeah, it's that feeling like, imagine this move 5 minutes ago, before the Tiny and the Beastmaster are like stomping everyone. Imagine before the Necro Free is online and the Blink Tiny is there. Like, maybe this move seems smart, but at this stage, you're behind and you gotta know it. Like, Spectre is your easiest kill.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like it's not so complicated just going towards the Spectre and just killing him, right? Like, you know that most of the other heroes are probably gonna move away from him. The issue, though, at this point is the fact that they don't have heroes that want to show on the lanes anymore against this Beast, Tiny, Lion, etc.
Whoop. Velio. He's just testing the buttons. You see, this is the power of Lion. You can blindly Earth Spike into trees and sometimes catch your targets. And then if you don't, you just finger them afterwards.
And at the same time, they were going on the Spectre in the top lane, who survives with 30 HP.
And Suzuya won't be so lucky by the looks of it. They'll chase him down and kill him off. They even toss him a creep to try and farm. Velio's still hunting. Stun through. With this Aether Lens, it's so easy for him to do. And they have got the Sinister Gaze after the Hex. Reinforcements are already coming. And Cheshire Cat, he just feels a little bit helpless. He'll go for the TP
And
away.
he should be fine. They can't do enough damage in time, I think.
I think they could have. They slowed down.
I think it's a
there.
close call. I think he has the
Yeah.
Vanguard. I don't really think he's dying. The one thing, though, is that, like, Extremum, at this point, they can pressure these towers, you know. They can go for these trades, kind of. But Khan can't, because they have no... Or should I say, they can't.
Hey, there it is. Just wondering when we're going to use that one.
Yeah.
Like
They can't. They can't go for any trades in terms of towers, because they don't have this beast with book 3, so...
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Extremum have identified the early kind of push presence on the map, their ability to take kills, and how Khan are falling behind, and they're really pushing it to the extreme. All right, I think that's enough time for silence on that one. We can move on to the assessment of like what's going on here, because you know something I didn't hit on earlier is how Velio has found a way to make this line work. All those early fights he survived, raindrop. When your draft can't kill a line because he has a raindrop, are you done? Because it looks like the Faceless Void is done. No, he gets the Time Walk off. He can move back in. He's got the Chrono. Is he going to use it, though? He's going to hold on to it. Nefert's going to be brought down to get rid of the Tiny as well. They're able to fight back. Primal on the back line does get both the supports of Khan. So it's a 2-for-2 exchange. Definitely in the favor of Khan right now. However, Cheshire Cat is being held down. Non-Grata trying to move away. But he moves away from reinforcements towards the enemy base and should be able to escape with a TP out. Oh, Chrono. No TP out for you. They just about clip on the edge. Neo's chasing down the line in the meantime, but they will get Non-Grata and they'll find Lion in the river.
Yeah, this is very much so what you needed. You had this initiation from Extremum, and they jump in onto this towards this Faceless Void, and they just don't kill him fast enough. And now we see the Void Spirit with the Axe now becoming quite a lot stronger here. Void Spirit now jumping in with this Axe and the Inkspo. He becomes very scary at this point, because there's no hero on Extremum right now that's gonna buy a BKB at this point. The Spectre doesn't really care that much. You're going for Manta style anyways. The Tiny is queuing up the BKB, but the Beast, it's very difficult for him to deal with. And for Lion and Lich, oof. That's a scary Void Spirit right now.
What I'm hearing is we need to wake up because this is a real game.
Nice.
It's the beginning of a real game, at least. Because Khan, you know, up to this point, it just kind of looked like they just kind of, you know, bent over and said, "Spank me, Papa. I'm done. All right. I don't want any of this."
Yeah, but now kind of you see that like the Void, he's bouncing back. He's finding some levels with this last fight, and Spectre is.
I'm more concerned about Cheshire Cat right now. Velio, he wasn't sure if he wanted to point the finger, but he does. He shouts, "Shikuze," finds the kill onto the Underlord.
I think he saw Sophia. Oh,
he did. They're gonna be able to find Gilga, and they're pinging him out. He should be able to TP away, you'd think, but reinforcements are here. So he has to stand and fight, and he's incredibly outnumbered.
he's also very dead.
He's like, please no, please.
I mean, he's having a rough one, Susuya, this game. I think the one thing, though, like, if you look at least the scoreboard, like, this Grimstroke, he's 0-9, and a lot of these kills, they don't actually matter that much right now. this kill might have mattered, since now they might transition into this Roche, and getting Aegis on the Spectre at this point would be quite scary because he's gonna have his Manta soon.
I don't
But
know.
in general, just a lot of these deaths, they don't amount to that much. You know,
No.
it's just, you know, it looks like a bigger lead than it might be. It's 24-7. You know, it could just as well be 15-7. You know, remove some of these Grimstroke deaths, and
Okay.
there's about a 1k gold, you know, exchange.
Jeez, so what I'm wondering at this point is your opinion on the POS 5 death count. I'm not sure if it comes from you as a POS 1 being ignorant of how much lives matter when it comes to your supports, or if this is what we'd expect from you if you played POS 5.
No, I think, I mean, I think there are games where you're allowed to keep dying. Obviously, you'd prefer having this Lich, right? Like at this point to
Yeah.
the Grimstroke. It's just that.
But the Lich can't do this. Baboon! As they bring down a baboon. Lion gone for 45 seconds. They'll chase forward looking for more. They have got the chrono, but this is always the annoying part of when you're playing into a Beastmaster. Good luck catching up.
They might find the beast here.
Yep, thanks for willing. Don Gradic needs to go for a TP out. He decides against it. He takes his chances with the trees, and the trees have betrayed him.
Yeah, and finally now we can start seeing here, like, some of the moves that they I'm not gonna say it, man, that they can make.
They can't do? Yeah, I know. That's, there we go.
That's not a can-do attitude.
Oh, like we really got to get some new ones. We've used those ones
Yeah.
multiple times on previous days now. This is paining me. You know, my favorite part is like when we were in the draft, and I keep forgetting that G is switched up now, right? He's your classic mid player. So I remember in the draft, I was like, oh, Lich mid. Wow, this is going to be really spicy. Oh, it's just tiny.
Right.
That
Yeah,
boy was pretty scary in the mid, actually, back in the day.
You mean back in the LGD international days?
Ooh, damn, dude. The hairs just went up. Those were the days. The international squad that.
Those were the days, my friend.
Like, how many iterations did it go for? I felt like the iterations never lasted long. It's like, all right, that was it.
I mean,
the
first one was about a year, a little bit over a year, and the second one was for like 2-3 months.
Yeah, I think there was rumors about another one that was going to start up like last year.
I think there wasn't there?
For
there
like
was
a week or two,
a Southeast Asian. Yeah. it passed real quick. But right now, I'm curious. Like this Lion, he is going for this Blink Dagger, so he is kind of just relying on the fact that he's gonna be able to position himself well in these fights and not get caught. You could make a case for something like either a Glimmer Cape or a Yules, and just making the Void Spirit's game more difficult.
What I really respect
he's going for
is that, well, you know what this Blink Dagger is really about? It's about protecting his score so that he can achieve the godly numbers. He just wants assists from now on. No deaths allowed.
Yes.
Mid lane? It looks like nobody wants to play with him. He has got an Aegis after all.
Yeah, initiating onto the Spectre at this point with the Aegis just kind of seems silly. They're waiting for the Void Spirit's BKB to be finished. He's also very close to level 18. Void is also close to his BKB. And I think once they get these BKBs on Khan, I think they're going to be able to fight.
When you actually look at the breakdown damage for Extremum, there's a reason that you
BD on Tiny right now, though.
Yep. See if you can do some damage with it. In he goes. Goodbye to one. Horn forward to break the back line, but turn around on Cheshire Cat instantly. They'll move forward looking for more as they do expend the finger to kill off Underlord quickly. But there's nobody else too close. Maybe they'll find Gilga, but that should be the final casualty for Khan. However, up on the high ground, no hesitation. We see this from Tiny time and time again. Not just today, but the last few days. Is what this high ground belongs to? No, this high ground's mine. Jesus, that attack speed. Maybe an AC next, buddy, because you know you.
Maybe Moonshard.
Something like that, because you kind of look like an old man
He's relying on the inner beast, you know. He's got the 0 attack speed build with the face with the. Yes, you get the 2 hits from Echo Saber, but come on.
Oh, well, your beast might not be able to help you much longer. He actually needs some help. BKBs get activated though. There's no way Tiny can do anything, and all of a sudden he needs to back away. They haven't got the mana for the chrono, but if they bash like twice, Mellow Yule's
gonna
gone.
be fine. Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna be fine because he randomly had the BKB there. So let's not.
Yeah, I mean, all the BKBs, they just waste like 3 BKBs were kind of just traded now, and then they got the life of the beast as well. So
yeah, that's like watching everyone show off their gold and immortal treasures. Like, oh, well, I've got one too. Oh, well, I've got one. Look at mine. Mine's shinier. It's like, yeah, but now none of us have shiny for 60 seconds.
Yeah, the one thing though right now is that they I don't think they're using the Spectre correctly right now. I think you want to be using the fact that you have this Aegis. They're waiting maybe for this diffusal. It's about to come out
Well,
on the Spectre, but
they don't
Aegis is
even
about
have
to
horn.
reclaim.
Yeah, it's been reclaimed. They don't have horn, which means Meliul's probably just gone in the top lane. Naive's going to be brought low. Meliul can't move across to go for the toss, though. He just gets killed off. And Gilga, he tries to snipe out Velior, but Velior's able to get away. So I think they should be able to get this tower. I can't imagine Extremum commit hard to defend this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of strange the decision here. You know, they're sending the Spectre to the different side of the map where there's no fighting. They're gonna wait out and not use the Aegis at all. And I think with that Aegis, I think they should be pressuring much more. They should be forcing things. They should be having the Spectre up front, just send him in and kind of force the fight. Like force Khan to fight you and to kill the Spectre first without using any big spells and then try to do it again, you know. Spectre could always fight with buyback as well, so you kind of have 3 lives at that point.
They
And
kind
I
of have
feel
a
like you
different
should be able
idea,
to
though.
take.
Like, if you looked at Nefra,
Hmm.
the one big gaping issue I see around everything that happened top is he had no TP the whole time.
Ah,
So, I mean, like, if you have a TP, do you think you show up to that top fight, or are you just, like, avoiding that point due to Chrono?
I mean, what I think is I think they should be playing, you know, with the Spectre more. You know,
Yeah.
when if the Haunt is down, I think the Spectre should be kind of in there. I also think that they should have utilized these 5 minutes much better. I think the Spectre should have been much more ready and, you know, fighting. I'm not, you know, it's hard to say who made the call, but right now they're slowly just getting out farmed, right? That's kind of what's happening here. The Spectre is not participating, and these con heroes now they're finding some fights. You see the Void, he's already level 20. Same thing for the Void Spirit, and these cores they're scaling quite well right now.
Yeah, I feel like the scary part is that Extremum had this very good early game 2 lanes. They bait themselves into like a complacency state, right? And then you go, we've got a Spectre, we're always going to farm better. But like the kind of comparative that's been constant, even in that early game where they were dominating, is the Spectre is the least valuable core. Whereas you look at Naive, right? He's gone for this very greedy Midas Maelstrom build that hasn't been punished really. Like apart from the initial early game, you haven't felt like this was the wrong move by the Faceless Void.
I mean, the thing is, the Void he's had now at 30 minutes into the game, he's barely had any impact whatsoever. You know, we saw him use a chrono here and there, and other than that, we've seen him pretty much hit creeps. And unfortunately, that's also kind of what the Spectre has been doing. And I think the Spectre has a much easier time joining fights in a game like this, especially considering the fact that there's not that much burst damage from Khan. So I feel like the Spectre should be it should be much easier for him to just participate in these fights and collect kills.
That's true. I feel so almost like he bait himself into that full idea, like, oh, the Tiny and the Beastmaster can kill anyone, right? So I just heat Cripes, I win late game, otherwise we Pepe. And it's like, that's not the way that Spectre's really played these days at all, I want to say. Is I feel like Spectre's presence in the first 30 minutes is a lot more felt than it has been in previous years. If you want to win.
Yeah, generally, yes. Spectre kind of now, we don't see that much this Radiance Rush right now. We're seeing a lot of this Manta, small items, and just fighting a lot early.
And now they're going to fight. The Horn's going to come in. Straight away, Cheshkat down to half HP already. And they'll be able to find the kill on the Gilga pretty quickly. Primer on the side, Finger as well. Everything on top of this face support, but Naive able to BKB and turn around. Has got the Chrono, but won't use it just yet. He's looking for additional targets. Nefra's going to arrive and maybe force it out of him, and he has to go for it. Non-Grata will be brought down, however, he needs to retreat. He can't get Beastmaster in time. The Soulbind's going to come out. Striker Fate through will get the kill, but in the meantime, Meliul snipes out Faceless Void. Big target gets found. And now they can move forward, look for more. Mio with the DD, trying to move in the stun, stop everyone. The Inkswell to go pop, but doesn't actually stun multiple targets. Meliul, not the primary one, tries to go for Velior instead. We'll be able to bring him down, but now Nefrit trying to fight up against Cheshire Cat. Meliul with the BKB, Avalanche toss onto 2. We'll bring Mio down to half HP after they kill off Cheshire Cat, but now Spectre's in a lot of trouble. The Inkswell's going to come out, Diffusal to try and move away, but the Astral Step through will be enough to kill off the POS 1 of Extremum.
Yeah, and that DD doing a lot of work there for the Void Spirit. You can see in the damage. Yeah, the Spectre's out 6k, but also 5k from the Void Spirit there. He also survives, and it's a... Was it 4 for... Was it 4 for 4?
It was a
3 for 4.
4 for 3. It was...
Yeah, exactly. And so,
like, usually you could go, oh, but, you know, can't use their Chrono. Sure, but Extremum used the Horn.
yeah, no, you'll take the trade any day of the week if you can't right now. You're gonna keep scaling on this Void Spirit and on the Faceless Void. the Tiny, he needs to find some more farm to keep up now in this game.
Yeah, he's not the Tony Montana we're used to seeing sometimes, right? Like he's almost got to his AC, but I don't know if that's going to give him enough. I feel like you need it because we've just seen how lacking his attack speed is without a Beastmaster, but you wish you had like a Crystallis in the build as well at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, most likely it's gonna be like the AC into Daedalus, kind of standard, just tiny item progression.
Yeah,
And they're gonna wait now for this Roche here, and
30 seconds.
you know, you don't want to take another fight where you're not coming out ahead on ahead with quite a bit. And they did find this really nice initiation onto the Rubik and sort of the
Look at that
Underlord as well.
initiation. They done it again. However, there's going to be a return initiation onto G. Might be a little bit too deep for Mio, though. He's going to be stunned up. No chance to use the BKB just yet. Primal Roar as well. But no, have they got the damage? The Chain Frost bouncing around is going to get him low. BKB's up, turns around, brings down the Lich, and now they need to retreat away from him. Melio, however, will look to take on Cheshire Cat as well. With the reinforcements coming through, we'll be able to get him. Long-range Hex from Velio to set up a kill under the Grimstroke, but who cares? We see this so often. Suzuya now dying for the 11th time in this game, and it looks like Rose should be going firmly in the hands of EXTREMUM.
Yeah, it's gonna be another DD down bottom there for the Void Spirit, but yes, we see kind of when they find these initiations, when they're going in with the Beast and Tiny Spectre first, it becomes so easy for the Lion to get to play there. They almost managed to kill the Void Spirit. I think he kind of survived just because of how tanky he is, but also the Crimson Guard from the Underlord. But I mean, you can see that, sure, at least, you know, like the Lion might not be the best hero in this early game and in the laning stage, but here we can see this Netherlands Lion with also the 150 cast range talent. He just keeps getting to cast his Hex, he gets to cast his Earth Spike continuously throughout the fight, and it becomes very disruptive to play against. And also, as your BKBs get lower and lower, it's going to be more and more scary for Khan.
That doesn't completely rule Khan out, though, because on that BKB subject, like, Void Spirit is getting closer to that 25. Although he's been dishing a lot of damage out with these DDs, I imagine he takes the Dissimulate stun, which is where you could maybe start to turn around these fights. So if they can try and buy time, get to that point, you could see, like, a feasible defense coming out from Khan.
Yeah, and also, like, right now, I would say that you don't want to take a poor engagement into this Aegis, but I think it is up to EXTREMUM now to force this fight, to find this fight, and go for it, because
it's actually the smoke that came out from Khan. Avalanche initiation good. Horn follow up as well, trying to chase through the back line. They'll look on the Gilgit to bring him down. Primal Roar out to the Grimstroke. The Stormbind was already used, and now they'll jump straight on top of Nongrata. We'll be able to bring him down, forcing out the buyback of the Grimstroke, but now Beastmaster dead. It looks like EXTREMUM one out. You'll try and back off. Nefrit standing up and fighting against the BKB. Naive goes in, double chrono onto G and onto Melio. Should be able to bring both of them down in the conjunction of that time in the big purple spear. And they'll turn around now because all alone in the mess is Spectre. Yes, you've got Velio there trying to help, but he's staying far, far away. And if he doesn't get some real reinforcements, he's going to go down. Nefrit being bashed over and over again. Nicely done by Mio, though, anticipating the reinitiation from Lion, jumps to the tree line and forces him away. But it looks like that might have been enough room for Nefrit to move off. Pops to Lincoln, looks to keep running away. He has got the dagger in a few seconds, but that time dilation is slowing him down a lot. And the time walk forward, if this is the first hit bash, or second hit, maybe he's dead. Nice dagger out, though. Looks like Nefrit will live to fight another day. Naive cannot chase in, and Lion gets away courtesy of a haste rune.
It was a real close call. It was a nice chrono there by Naive. He waited for kind of the very much so right opportunity there. He didn't initially just chrono onto the Tiny and the Spectre, etc. Like some people would, but he waits for this. He finds both Tiny and Lich. He managed to bring down Lich, and he also gets to kill this Tiny after his BKB runs out, and then they can start trying to kill the Spectre after the Aegis has worn off and the allies are dead. Fortunately, Valor kind of saves the day with some spells there from the sideline, and also the fact that Void Spirit was out of mana.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, if Mio sticks on that target, they 100% get it. But I don't think it was the wrong move for him to try and jump line. Like, you know that if that reinitiation comes with, like, a triple stun, you might actually burn a hero and see the Spectre run away. But
yeah, I mean, ideally, at this point, I think you really want to be focusing both the Tiny and the Beastmaster, because they don't really have that many defensive tools. Yes, you have the BKB on the Tiny, and now you have some armor with your AC, and your HP pool is not too shabby either. But once his BKB is down, it's very difficult for this Tiny to play. He has to be wary of this Phantom's Embrace. There could be some random Inkswell, Rubik Lift, etc. There are so many spells, kind of the Pit of Malice, that are really annoying for this Tiny once his BKB is gone.
It's like you gotta look at it as the Spectre is the big castle, right? And like sometimes it's easy to take out the foundations, right? Those being the Beastmaster, the Tiny you mentioned, even the supports, and that is where Khan is getting it right. Like even if you don't have an Aegis, maybe Nephrit isn't your primary initiation target because without the auras that come out from the Beastmaster, for example, Nephrit's impact in these fights is somewhat lacking. Hold on. Let's go try and initiate right now. The Gil goes straight in. Now the long-range finger coming out. Hello, Felio enters into artillery mode. Buyback comes out in the meantime. They still haven't killed off Felio. He's actually living. The Chrono's going to go down on the free. They'll turn around to deal with the Beastmaster and bring him down. Lion has died as well on the side. And now they can stand and fight up against Naive. With the two of them against one, they should be able to do this. They'll be able to will him down and kill him off. He's dead. Gone for 95 seconds. Buyback is going to come out in the meantime from Velio as they look to take complete control here. Gilga's going to be brought down. No escape for the Rubik as it gets brought down for the second time. And all of a sudden, you can move towards their base because 3 of them dead. 1 of them definitely the dieback. And, well, they don't know it yet, but Faceless Void doesn't have the money. He can't post bail.
Naive there. I think that's a mistake there. The last fight he was, identifying that he doesn't really want to fight the Spectre. Now he chooses to fight the Spectre, who was sitting on a cheese. Just pops the cheese and kills the Faceless Void after he'd wasted his Chrono. And they also managed to bring the Rubik back down twice.
And
so
now Mio is forcing this awkward engagement. It works out because Lion shows his face. That's the dieback on the Lion.
yeah, fortunately Lion is not really what offers them or allows them to be killing these buildings. So they're gonna get this 1 melee Rax. And now they're just gonna back off. I think you're quite happy with this. Yeah, you lost your Lion, but it's not the end of the world at this point.
What if Extreme in the cool right now? Like, whoa, we lost a Lion. He took a 70 damage talent. He hits for 180. We can't do this anymore. All right, we back away. That's the real reason. Because Lion is key here, okay? Remember, we've got to be proven wrong. Lion can win games.
I mean, he just might, he just might.
He's making it work. Like, it feels a little bit awkward on both sides, I want to say, right? It's not like when you see a hero that hasn't been seen for a long time, you go, wow, that looks really broken. But he has definitely had some clutch moments.
Yeah, he's definitely had some impact here. It's just kind of this, like you need to be finding this really sweet spot where you're playing in the fights and being able to cast all your spells, but also you really don't want to, commit to these fights. You don't want to get in there. You just want to be on the outskirts, just continuously casting spells. And in that sense, I do think that they have this somewhat well-rounded lineup. They have the Spectre who wants to go in and tank, and then they have these other heroes that they just want to be allowed to cast spells. And this is something why like tanking in Dota is a thing, it sets your allies up for success.
That is the excuse I keep using when I charge anything as a Spirit Breaker. You soak in the damage, right? Like, well, I'm doing this, so you don't have to.
There's blatant feeding, and then they're setting your allies up for success. Now,
whoa. Okay.
Now, if you can't tell the difference, then my buddy.
Then who can? There we go.
Then you've got some issues.
I don't know what you're talking about. Spirit Breaker is a very simple hero. You either commit to what he's doing, or you lose the game.
Short. Do you read that then like in Mel Gibson voice?
No. I just randomly in the middle of the game start a charge and then go like just move with a
you do that on the microphone too?
Yep.
Nice.
I'm a terrible person. I think most people
terrible
reach the point
person,
where they
terrible
just mute me
teammate
straight away.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say.
They start to go,
reasonable.
he's got a nice British voice, and then they just hear what comes out of my mouth, and they're like, nope, this is a meme too far.
He's got a nice British voice. Oh, but now he sounds like a cow.
It's like, he seems like a nice British. But why is
he's
he
a British cow?
Trust me, when they start seeing what I pick in my +4 roles, they immediately decide I'm a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
You bring out your Life Stealers, your Axes, your Omni Knights.
That does make sense.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. So I have this is a good mentality for everyone to take in their pub games. Any hero in the melee form is a good +4. They have a noob. Oh, this isn't a +4 though. However, +4's finger will get him low enough to kill him off with the Horn in. Mio dead for a long time. 100 seconds on the sideline. They'll look to fight for more. Cheshire Cat, toss away. I don't think that's gonna stop him from escaping, but they might find more. Because look who's at it again. It's the pesky Lion. The Earthspite's gonna come out. Reinforcements gonna arrive, and Gilga's gonna wish he's the one who's receiving the reinforcements.
Yeah, and I think this is the point where if you forget about it for just even a short while, the Lion can become scary. You know, you have this really long range initiation at this point with the cast range talent and also the Etherlands. So an additional 400 range to cast your spells. So you need to be really cautious with where you're going. You know, the Void can be allowed some bit more freedom because of the Time Walk and also because of the Lincolns. But Void Spirit does not have any status resistance. He doesn't have any Lincolns. He doesn't have anything to kind of help him against these Lion spells.
One here is he's slightly fucked. And we see that cast range again. They'll just toy with Cheshire Cat a little. What? It's like, all yours, Velior. It's like, no, I'm the backline. Don't reveal me. Finger goes out, brings him low. They put the Linkers on so Cheshire Cat can move away. Melior did use the BKB. You know, I feel like cast range is an overrated name. You know how, like, Carl decided that dispels should be called cleansers, like purges or whatever?
Just no.
Okay,
Just
hear me
no.
out. Hear me out. Cast range refer to as because you know, like when you like reaching for someone, like and you can't quite reach it.
Like the sound. It's
Yeah,
kind of
like-
like the sound Windows makes when you're like.
Like that.
Okay. I feel like
that could be
in,
mixed up. Yeah.
I feel like in this thing that you just did, I feel like you might have been reaching, just wee bit.
But on a scale of
Of one to-
cleanse, like which one's worse?
That's tough, honestly. I feel like they might just be dead even.
Okay, I'll take that actually. I'll happily take that. He's been using cleanse for a long time before he got called out on a non-grata. Uh-oh. He'll call out that there are a lot of heroes from Khan in the top lane, and probably now a lot of heroes from Khan in the Roche bit. Do you commit? Can you commit? You have no buyback on the beast for 2 minutes. This is no news for Khan. Instead, they initiate straight away on Melo. You have to use the BKB to try and back away. Mio used the BKB to stay on top of him. Nice stun out to 2. Velior trying to juke out to the side and move away from them. Is able to do so. In the meantime, now the Chain Frost to bounce across into the mix with the Hornet. Nefrit jumps on the back line, finds both the supports of Khan, and the buyback out from Tiny after he dies. They're ready to fight. Buyback's committed on the other side. Khan bring both Cheshire Cat and the Grimstroke back into the fray. Naive being forced away from the main bout, and in the middle of it, Void Spirit a bit. Trom does get hexed up. Sinister Gaze as well. Avalanche with the toss. Should get him low enough. The chrono from his own teammate ensuring that's the case. But he was already dead. He was already done. Linkers gets popped. Naive is able to move away. But Cheshire Cat's been left behind. He might live, but the rest of his team is likely to die here. Hex onto Cheshire Cat. No way for him to escape. No mana left for him to use his ultimate to get out. And on the back line, Melior snipes out Suzuya. And this game is looking all about done right now.
Yeah, initially there for a second it looked really terrible for Extremum there. They didn't have their Beastmaster. There was the initiation coming from the Void Spirit. The tiny BKB was already forced out, but then they find this kind of annoying Chain Frost plus some Lion spells being thrown out, and then all of a sudden, boom. And I was just about to say the Spectre. I was curious why he's not going in, but he's just waiting just
Biding
for
his
this
time, baby.
very much right moment, and he gets the haunt out. And at this point there's so much confusion, like for the Khan heroes. Both this Rubik and the Grimstroke, they just have to run, you know. They can't do anything to the Spectre. He just goes in, he gets some easy support kills, and they manage to take out the Void Spirit once again.
I was gonna say, you call it confusion, right? Like this is something. Okay, this is something more reasonable I labeled, right? Don't worry about this. It's just a dead Rubik. Don't look away from the screen if you're not a fan of violence. Oh, Melior with a toss away saves the day. Now he needs to be careful himself. Does get away, but
yeah, I mean, I call it confusion, but you know, it's just like when Spectre presses Haunt and you're these heroes, you know, the Spectre has Diffusal, Skadi, etc.
Yeah.
As a Rubik, as a Grimstroke, you don't have any options except for kind of turning and running.
to die.
Or to die.
Yeah, that is the main one. I was gonna say, like, the thing I always refer to as like chaos factor, right? When you can measure a team's chaos factor. And like that was like an exclusive example of that brilliant toss back play into like a 4-man Chain Frost. But like the thing about Spectre that makes it more easy to execute in those type of moments is the chaos factor, right? It's the same thing as like a Phoenix plus a Treant, right? It's not just these two synergize. Everyone panics. This team that usually has like uniformity and is on the same wavelength suddenly has independent ideas because there's so much anarchy in the fights to deal with.
Yeah, it's kind of similarly to when you're playing as the Peel and you don't really have a great answer for it. Like, these are the two... The thing you don't want to have against the Spectre hero in general is just having these squishy supports that really get bothered by the Spectre haunting, and, you know, that they want to be casting their spells from these kind of... You don't want to be shown, you know? if this was a Lion and a Lich, like on the receiving end, it would be pretty much a similar result.
Yeah, it's one of those exposed uwu moments once the Spectre Horn gets hit. You know you're probably going to die in a few seconds. Like there's no real way they can get out of this. They got the Glimmer Capes. They haven't got any Force Staffs, although I'm not sure if that would be enough to save their lives at this stage.
Yeah, they have Glimmer, but no, I'm not sure what kind of saves you at this point. I think one thing that also has been very big in these last engagements is that the fact that the Void Spirit has been the one dying. First he gets caught in this mid lane, and then the second now at the fight around this Roche area where he doesn't have buyback in both of these fights. If you have buyback on Void Spirit, it's very different.
Well, at least this guy has buyback, but that's a big pick on a Naive. Dead for 100 seconds. You know they're going to force it because Nefrit's already in the base. See if he can bait out someone here. He might be forced to buy back soon if they can find an opportunity on the Void Spirit. They're waiting for it. They have got the Primal Roar, but he's able to move away. The Primal Roar instead gets used on a Cheshire Cat. Buyback comes out from the face of Void. Stolen Primal Roar out to Mellow. Cheshire Cat's going to live. They're moving in with the Chrono on the mobile heroes, but they don't catch on the Spectre. The Spectre moves out with the Abyssal, and now Naive has to even got the damage bring down. Tiny's going to get him low. Maybe be able to find the kill with the Inkspell. Stuns up on the Spectre as well. We'll turn around on him next. The Soulbind is still running here, but the Gaze is going to come out. Naive down half HP, able to time walk off that finger instantly though. Now Naive, can he do enough here? Nefra has been ignored for most of this fight, and now that they've done it that way, they can deal with him when he comes back up. Bash after stun, after probably more bashes, and while it is slow, there is an inevitable feeling that this Spectre is going bye-bye.
Yeah, and I think also the Spectre there towards the end of that fight, he kind of made a mistake of using his Manta style right before he died. I think if he saves that, he might be able to just kind of pop that cheese and then press Manta and keep fighting with the help of the Lich there with the Lotus Orb, Glimmer Cape, etc.
But hear me out, hear me out. G was running away the entire time. He's like, nope, this is the done fight. I'm leaving.
I'm out.
Yep. As a former mid player, knowing how to weigh the potency of the +1, +2 rolls and what I can do at this stage in the game, you ain't got this, dog. I'm leaving.
I don't know, man. I don't know if he sold the Spectre. I mean, the Spectre sold himself by pressing this Manta, I think, but
yeah,
I think you can see there, like, once the Tiny is committed, and if the Void can go in and go on top of the Tiny, then the fight is very difficult for EXTREMUM, because the Tiny is a lot of their damage. Even though Spectre is very tanky, he's not as much, you know, kind of bursty damage as Tiny.
Right? Yeah, it's like over time I'm gonna beat you out, and it's like it's a preview you got there, right? Because actually both carries were kind of unhindered, right? Because he Abyssal dodged the Chrono, the Spectre was free to do what she wanted, as was Naive on this Faceless Void, and we kind of seen how the Void is coming out ahead in that regard.
No, I'm curious here. They're starting to back here. They're scared. They're kind of respecting these heroes here. It is a level 25 Lion with now the AoE Hex. He's got the 10 stacks from the finger kills.
He's a very spicy boy right now. I'm pretty sure if that finger connects, it's been more or less still equal to half of Mia's health, which is no small feat considering he has 3.4k HP.
Yeah, he does now have this SNY, so at least he has
some resistance.
Some status resist, yeah.
Oh wait, I think he's hoping to get the Trinity, but I don't think he's going to get there at this rate. They're bringing him down. The front row, he's gone, and this might be a repeat. Last time, the Horn in straight away without hesitation. The stolen roars out on the Nefra, and the steal's coming from Gilg. It's not going to be good enough. He's going to be brought down eventually just after the mischief ends. He is wasting a lot of time. Okay, nicely done. Buys enough time for Naive to initiate with the Chrono, but that's not good enough. Even with the Divine Rapier, you're out of options. The GG comes out. The celebratory toss of trees from Mellow will signal the victory of EXTREMUM as they take this best of one. Although Gilga gets his moment of mockery as he sticks his middle finger up and sinks into the ground dead.